Club Brugge are the club with the most goals. They placed third in that particular stats list. They've got 7. Man City have scored 6 times, same as Sporting Lisbon and Ajax from the Netherlands. In terms of ball possession, do you know Chelsea have got the best average ball possession per game in the UEFA Champions League so far? 65.5%. Barca second with 64.7%. Man City third, Milan are fourth. That's AC Milan. Real Madrid are fifth, and Liverpool are sixth. Well, we'll look back on the glorious night of European football. We'll tell you about the individual stats. The top scorers in this particular competition has got the most assists and shot-on targets. What does that go to? Passing accuracy and a lot more. Well, back here in Nigeria, we'll talk about the Flamingos' preparations in top gear ahead of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in India. We'll talk about the latest preparations and how things are shaping up with them. Remo Stars are very busy ahead of the new campaign, signing players beyond just Nigerian players. 2 overseas players who understand rather have joined Remo Stars to bring you names of the players and look at a lot more football stories this particular afternoon. So join us on 090-222-3101, 027-624-8565. My name is Raj James. It's a super exciting afternoon to return here. Super energized as always to return alongside Mari and Solorex And Blyden. Okay, we'll join the conversation in no distance time and together. We'll take a look at the stories beyond 090 rather 222-31011 and 0817-624-8565. We're streaming live on a verified Facebook page and the Planet Radio 101.1 FM Rio, the verified Facebook page. You can also catch us on the Planet 101 FM sport page. Mari's got a post published there for you. I don't know why it's skipping. So we'll be taking every step of the way this afternoon. All right, so join us. Let's begin with the UEFA Champions League meanwhile.
You spoke about that little right-hand side where Trent vacates at times and you shuffle over and become that insurance policy. Was that something you kind of honed in on today?
Yeah, I think you got to give Trent the licence to get forward at times and produce what he can produce up the final third of the pitch. But I thought he was really good defensively as well tonight. You know, he done the basics really well. And overall, I thought it was a really good performance. So, yeah, I didn't have to cover too much.
No good.
Just give us an insight, because I think people that criticise footballers feel that footballers are immune to this kind of conversation. How much does it bleed into a footballer's psyche, or how much is it a conversation at the training ground? I think it's important for fans to know what that sort of conversation can do to a young player.
And also as a captain, how you deal with that as well.
I think it can be difficult. You know, you try to not listen to social media, especially when you're going through a little bit of a tough period as an individual or as a team. You got to switch off to social media and everything that is the noise around, and try and just focus on what you do day to day, and improve on your own performance, improve on the team's performance, and just really stay focused on what we're trying to achieve as a team. But it can be difficult. That's not easy, you know, with everything that goes in the outside world. It is difficult and it can hurt players at times, but you've got to try and find a way to use that as fuel and as energy to, when you get on the pitch, to prove people wrong, and that's what I've learned the older I've got, really.
And what's the most effective way?
I mean, so that's Jordan Henderson basically talking about Liverpool, how they played last night, and the criticism they faced as a team and individual players is also being one of them. Well, the biggest, it's been Trent Alexander-Arnold. There's been a lot of conversation around him, what he's done and what he's failed to do over the last couple of weeks, particularly since the start of the Premier League. Before we bring you the results of the fixtures, let's take a listen to Jurgen Klopp reacting on the 2-0 win against Rangers. Jurgen.
Absolutely. It was exactly what we needed. We needed a super solid performance, top defending, everybody committing in a new formation. And sometimes you have to change things, obviously, and it worked out for tonight. It's a bit of a surprise for sure for Rangers, the way we set up. It was one of the ideas, but it was more an idea that we get into the right spaces. We had that. So 2-0, imagine we had plenty of chances. Imagine we would have used more of them. All of a sudden, it can soften the situation again. That's not what we need in the moment. 2-0, I'm more than happy. 2 set-piece goals I love as well, because you can celebrate them without waiting for VAR. That's good. And really good game and very important.
Well, how big a factor was that?
Right, so now let's talk about the games after the results. In Group A was Napoli losing against Ajax. Statistically, it's their heaviest defeat in European competition at home. They lost in Amsterdam by 1-6. Liverpool 2-0 winners over Rangers. In Group B, Club Brugge stunned Atletico Madrid to maintain their 100% start to live in the Champions League this campaign with a win in Brugge. They've now become the first team from Belgium to win their first 3 games in the competition. FC Porto saw by Leverkusen by the same scoreline. Meanwhile, we hear Xabi Alonso, former Liverpool man, former Real Madrid man as well, is very close to landing the job as new by Leverkusen manager. Leroy Sané also scored twice. Sadio Mane was also on the Actors Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena, saw Victoria Pleasant by 5-0. Inter Milan needed a goal from Hakan Çalhanoğlu to see off Barca by 1-0. Well, a lot of controversy in that particular game. In Group D, Marseille were the biggest winners, beating Sporting Lisbon by 4-1. Thinikau had put Sporting ahead inside the first 90 seconds of that particular encounter. Alexis Sanchez restored parity. Amir Harit put them ahead, but the Antonio Adan red card in the 23rd minute, many say it was a turning point in that particular game. From then on, Leonardo Baleri and Chancel Mbemba got the goals, which ensured Marseille got the campaign in Europe back on track. Eintracht Frankfurt fired blanks against Tottenham Sports in the new draw. Now, Blyden, let me begin with you. 2-0 win against Rangers, does that show how much Liverpool have improved, or it's just another win against a terrible Rangers side as many will capture it? So where do you belong in this conversation?
Well, I think it's a good win for Liverpool, considering how they're faring in recent times. But directly based on your question, I think it was a good win that didn't really show how good Liverpool were or how they've improved, but how terrible Rangers have been in recent times. Because I watched the game, Rangers didn't come out. They're basically sitting back in that game, played nothing as far as I'm concerned, exception of the goalkeeper who was busy making saves. It could have been up to 4 maybe, but on the other hand, you look at Liverpool, from all indications, if they face a stronger side, it could have been a much difficult game for them. Had to win with a penalty from Salah late in the game and an early free kick from Alexander-Arnold. Couldn't score in the run of play. Difficult for Liverpool to score these days.
Now, let's talk about the other Group A game, rather. Solorex, Ajax versus Napoli. And Napoli are top of the group, and they're enjoying the fantastic run of form domestically and on the European scene as well. The top of the table there got 6. And Ajax, was that surprising for you?
Brett, first off, looking at the beautiful works, Spalletti has done to this Napoli team, getting them at the top of the La Liga as well. And even the key striker, talking of Victor Osimhen, is not even in the mix, and they are still firing from all cylinders. Massive, result from him at Amsterdam yesterday. But, right, looking at this Napoli team, even Giovanni Simeone is scoring goals as well, right? I feel there's no club that can stop this Napoli team, because looking at the quality they have, talking of Iguesa and the team, he left from Fulham to Napoli, talented players that are ready to go and make sure they represent the club anytime they are being called on to give out their best for the club. Also, Bright, excellent lads. I don't see them dropping down anytime soon. I see them keep on going and going as far as they want to go.
Now, Mario talk about Club Brugge. 20 wins over Atletico Madrid. Atletico had the better of the chances. In fact, you look at the first half, up until that goal came, Alvaro Morata, it fell to Antoine Griezmann. Yannick Carrasco also had his fair share of misses. Angel Correa got into very decent positions. But that has got to be disappointing for the man Diego Simeone, putting out all of that work only to be undone by two silly defensive blunders at the other end of it. Brugge capitalizing and getting the desired result.
Absolutely, Bright. I think that captures the situation yesterday. For both sides, it was just a tale of two teams. One had a lot of chances but couldn't bury any of them, and then the other had just few and scored 2 goals. Look at Atletico Madrid; they had 20 shots and then 5 on target as compared to Club Brugge's 3 on target, and they had to score 2 goals from there. So, and of course, Atletico had a lot of corners. They were basically on the front foot all through the game, missed a lot of big chances in the game, created a lot of big chances as well, but just could not score. So the problem yesterday was just proficiency in the final third. They just could not score goals, and I'm just trying to pinpoint the problem. But you look at the players, Carrasco always scores this kind of goals. Look at Antoine Griezmann, hit the woodwork, hit the penalty. That was a crazy story for them. So I think it was just an unlucky day for Atletico Madrid holistically, because they had every chance to get a win in that particular game. But let's also credit Club Brugge. Had a fantastic game, played on the back foot, but hit Atletico Madrid when it mattered the most, scored twice. Kudos to, the former Barca boy, Ferran Duclia, who was absolutely phenomenal on the night, beautiful performance. And from a Nigerian perspective, Onyedika had a good game as well in the middle of the park for them. Those passes, those tackles, those interceptions were also key and critical for their win yesterday. So holistically, it was a good game. Atletico Madrid were just unlucky on the night.
No, Mario would say, well, it was just an off day for Atletico. But you can't quite say the same with Tottenham Sports, despite the barrage of attacking options and the talents available for Alvaro Antonio Conte. The fired blanks again last night at entering Frankfurt Blyden.
Well, Brad James is beginning to come up. I know you talked about it some time ago on TV. They're not really expressive. And sad fact for me, Antonio Conte had to stick with the starting lineup he used against Arsenal, who didn't work out for me, especially starting Perisic in that game for me. And doing the same information, taking in this particular game, you look at it, you expect Tottenham to play better against Eintracht Frankfurt. Not to take anything away from Eintracht Frankfurt, but when you look at the Tottenham's roster, you expect more from them. But one of the things I've noticed about this Tottenham side is the fact that they're still in the shadow of the old self, as far as I'm concerned. They've not really expressed themselves. Look at that roster. You see that this is a quality side in terms of quality players scattered all around from the bench. Before now, I've always talked about Tottenham from the point of view of the bench. They're not having a strong bench. But look at now, they have quality players on the bench, and they ought to express themselves as a big club and not the Tottenham of yesteryears. Right now, they're still in that mix, still being too careful, not really expressive and going all out to get the win. For me, it was basically that affecting Tottenham.
Let's turn our attention expeditedly to tonight's encounter. As always, before we do, let's see what talk about Tottenham Sports. Goal scoring has been a problem for them. I have in their ranks Son Heung-min, have Harry Kane, have Richarlison,
Perisic.
Even Perisic has Dejan Kulusevski. They've got Ryan Sessegnon as well that can provide extra width in that particular team. Well, once we've seen them this season, they came out to play, and that was against Leicester City. They got 6. So what's Antonio Conte basically scared of? Before you answer that, I think we'll have to take a listen to Antonio Conte, and then you have your thought after now.
Antonio, a hard-fought point. What's your assessment of the match?
Well, the match was a good match. I think we played a match with great intensity. We didn't allow them to play their football, and we pressed a lot in every area of the pitch. At the same time, I think that we had to be more clinical. We had to be more clinical because we created many chances to score, and instead, at the end, we are talking about a draw. A good draw, because it's not easy to play away with this atmosphere, a lot of noise around of us. I think that my players cope with this situation very well. we played a good game, but you know very well if you don't score or you don't win, and at least you draw. And
Well, now, it's just your mindset, so if it's a draw.
Yeah.
So it's a draw, so it's a good result. You don't win, at least you draw.
Yeah.
Well, how does that make sense, and how do you get comfortable when you look at the roster? Blyden talked about it, and the fact that you have the ability, you could potentially score not once, not twice. We're talking 3, 4, 5 times in the course of the match. Well, you settle for a draw.
Brett, to be realistic, I'm not a big fan of Conte. Why? He doesn't, play position kind of football. If you look at, the games he has played, he played against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest had a better ball position than, Tottenham. They played against Leicester City, had, more of the ball position than they played against Sporting Lisbon as well, and Arsenal. So, Bright, for you to be a good manager, you need to keep the ball as well. Talking of Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, for me, you need to have the better of the ball position as well. You approach all these teams.
It's not a problem if you don't have the ball, but many would say, Mari, it's about what you do when you have the ball.
Right, I'm not completely. I don't have problems with his problem. He's not having the ball situation. I'm just worried about the fact that he's been stubborn. He's refused to move on from football. Is dynamic right now. I mean, you have attacking talent in your team. Yes, this system won you the Italian Serie A 4 or 5 times. It won you the Premier League at Chelsea, but it doesn't work. That was 2016. It doesn't work in 2022 rather. Be a little bit, flexible. You have Harry Kane in that team that can score you goals. But you're playing him in a way that he looks back and he looks forward, and that's a bad thing. If as a striker you're a lot more defensive minded and attacking minded, it's a problem for you. Son is in that team, and all right, and then you're talking with Richarlison as well, who's scoring for the Brazilian national team, scoring almost every single game. So why are you making them play so defensive that they forget about the fact that they're supposed to score goals?
Right, James, here is it from my standpoint. For me, I don't have a problem about the system they play. When you play a particular system and it's worked for you time and time again, it can still work for you again. But here's the problem I see at Tottenham. The pressure is not the same like you're coaching Chelsea. And he has a lot of job to do, a big job to do there. Put the mentality of the players and the entire club.
No.
For me, it's a club thing.
Now, let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question. Does it make sense that you're playing against, let's say, Van Dresa? So Spurs are playing against Van Dresa and Spurs are defending.
Yeah.
So when you play against City, when you play against PSG,
what would you do?
When you play against Liverpool, what will you do?
No, this
So if you're defending against Bournemouth, you're defending against Nottingham Forest, you're defending against Fulham. No disrespect, but 2-2. If you're going to keep the ball or half the ball, you've got the players with better technical ability to keep the ball, dictate the pace of the game. But you're defending against Fulham, defending against Brighton, defending against Nottingham Forest. Isn't that inviting extra pressure?
Remember the conversation we had some time on TV about Villarreal? That picture, if Villarreal was the defensive side and attacking side.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes it's not necessarily defending. It's just having a balanced play, how you build your team, how you structure it. So personally, I do not have a problem. Remember yesterday, as we talked about Jose Mourinho and the likes of Chelsea, and many said he was scoring 1 goal, but he won the league. Scoring 1 goal, went far in the Champions League. But the point for me is not just about just structuring your team that way. It's about the mentality. There are teams that play this way, and they still beat smaller teams. It's all about getting the ball at the back of the net. See, this is where I have the problem. Him coming out and say, oh, we had many teams, we couldn't score, oh, it's okay, we had a draw. If we were coaching Chelsea, it wouldn't be okay having a draw. If we were coaching probably Manchester City, it wouldn't be okay having a draw. That's where the fine line is for me. And it's a holistic problem, not just for the coach, for the club. Because for so long, they've not been on the front foot, being the big side. And they're finding it difficult from my standpoint, having that big image towards games.
Right, if you win games, if you win games like this, you get confident, right? So you beat your confidence, beat your mentality as well. So I'm expecting them to win this kind of game. I don't see the reason why I'm trying to find without a striker having more shots than you, that have 3 strikers in your team. Doesn't make any sense.
Right. Join the conversation on 090-222-31011. 027-624-565. Before you join, let me tell you about the fixtures for this evening so you react all at once. FC Salzburg in Austria host Dynamo Zagreb. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge welcome Olivier Giroud and AC Milan. RB Leipzig in Germany host Celtic. Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu welcome Shakhtar Donetsk. In England, it's Manchester City at the Etihad versus FC Copenhagen. Sevilla at the Roman Sanchez Pizjuán welcome Borussia Dortmund. Benfica at the Estadio da Luz in Portugal taking PSG, while Juventus are in action. They welcome Maccabi Haifa from Israel. Welcome. Good to have you join us. Football fan.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
This is Alan.
All right.
AKA Bayelsa.
Talk to us.
I want to wish my team good luck in today's outing. I believe we are going to score more goals, and my namesake is going to score. Right, tomorrow is my birthday that is coming up. Up Man City. For that AC Milan game, I don't know. It's AC Milan play a difficult game, so Chelsea should be very careful.
All right. Thank you very much, Bayelsa Maniki Haaland, for joining the conversation this afternoon. We thoroughly appreciate you. Please keep the calls coming. We've got Khalid Koulibaly waiting on the fringes. We'll be talking to us about Chelsea and talking about the awareness of the dangers that AC Milan have. Welcome, football fan. Communication.
Hello, good afternoon, Brad James.
Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, the Maradona. Sorry, Brad James. It's really a great time in the UEFA Champions League. Some of the teams, when the first match, the second, look at how the table is being shifting. So let me send a special thanks to the team who really met to get a 9 points in their 3 league matches. For my team, Chelsea, the new football administration, before the Chelsea qualified for the Champions League, we don't know that how the team will shift will make us not to have a crucial point. But tonight's game is going to be a criminal. Chelsea must do their best for them to get victory. I wish Chelsea will be. That's my two things.
Thank you, Victor, for joining. Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Good afternoon, sport analyst, Mr. Izzy on the line.
All right.
Yeah, let me quickly congratulate Alexandra Arnold and Luis Diaz for them to produce those goals for Liverpool. I think Jurgen Klopp would leave sentiment out of his player and now bring out, because I like that formation, the 4-2-3-1. That is the best formation so far that can make help Liverpool win many games. Let him stop playing 4-3-3 formation, because 4-3-3 formation will not suit Nunes. I like Diego Jota playing as number 10 role, allowed Nunes to take the duty as number 9. And I wish he should work on Salah. Salah should rather play on someone else to score than to playing for himself, because that is what Liverpool are suffering from right now. So it's high time Jurgen Klopp should make some tactical change in that very team, so that we can take Arsenal to what we are used to do for them. That's my take. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, guys.
Thank you for joining. Welcome.
Yes, my name is Jack. I don't mean it at my head, but I believe the way it is. It's like what you guys are doing in the studio. You know, you guys are discuss football. Instead of that, you make the program, you understand and you make a lot. I want to congratulate Liverpool for winning their yesterday game. Sometimes, the way we talk, I found it as a belief that even in this conversation about Liverpool, the formation is said that it is best for Liverpool. The Liverpool score in the open play. They score in the freaking antenna. So what is those two players not able to convert those chances? We would have meant the same thing. Liverpool is struggling. They are struggling. Talking about Tottenham and the Conte, I think it's about the club, not the coach. You can't play with a lower team and you are defending. You know, Pep Guardiola came out with it ideology that for you to win the game, you need to keep the ball. So the more you keep the ball, the more chances you have to score. You know, how would you score when the ball is not even with you? So I think football has changed from what used to be those times, that you will just have one chance to score, then win the game. No. The player that keeps no ball have a greater opportunity of winning. no result anyway. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining. Absolutely makes sense. We'll talk about Benfica and PSG in very fine details in a bit, but Facebook can also drop by the Facebook page and drop comments there. Mario is tracking that for us alongside Solorex. Welcome, football fan. Name location.
Yeah, welcome again.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, this is Godwin of Young from Blyden.
Godwin, it's been quite some while.
Yeah, like it has been long. But I want to say that Tottenham is becoming too ordinary for my liking. They are becoming too average. I think they shouldn't have sacked just, that would have been the person that would have lifted Tottenham from their dungeon. They need a quick fix. The Tottenham has nothing to do with long-term project. All they need now is a quick fix. Let them find players that can bring them trophies. If they can have one trophy, it will bring back their confidence and their belief. So they should look for a big fix so that they can win trophies. Otherwise, I see the level of Hurricane leading the team. But as for my team, Chelsea, today, I pray. Chelsea is now a player team. I just pray that they win the match. I just hope they win the match. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate it. Welcome, football fan.
Brighton Sports Club. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Top Gunner, welcome.
Well, since I'm not playing Champions League, let me deliberate on what Arsenal did to Tottenham. What a great game. Can I call it true revenge? Payback time. Remember Tottenham robbers of playing Champions League last season. Arsenal back to the winning ways after the international break. Arsenal playing the nice football, positional and passing. Arsenal playing the tabular way. Gabriel Jesus have brought good things for Arsenal. To drop deep, control the ball. Even William Saliba play possession football. Thomas Partey is the anchor man of Arsenal. He's ready to play for Arsenal, sometimes with injury. Great games for Arsenal boys. Arsenal, by God's grace, to play Champions League.
Right.
Then, not only winning Ajax away is a big surprise. Ajax are paying for their mistake. Front of 72 players for the love of money.
All right, thank you very much, Top Gunner. Well, you spent the bulk of your time talking about Arsenal. You can rejoin us if you can. Team news in the clash between Benfica and PSG. Tonight has Lucas Verissimo and Yao Victor remaining out of Benfica's clash against PSG. Roger Smith could name an unchanged side to the one that drew with Victoria Guimaraes at the weekend. Presnel Kimpembe for PSG. Renato Sanchez will miss out on the trip to Benfica. We here. Welcome, football fan. Name location.
Hello, good afternoon, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
This is Akufa calling from Itam Police Station.
All right.
So I want to find out the news about Kujosa and Kunku. How far about the news?
To Chelsea?
Yes, to Chelsea, yes.
Well, we hear there's a pre-contract agreement and he had a medical ahead of next year move. So he will move in the summer of 2023 to Chelsea. We hear about we haven't heard the deal is complete.
Can't fit enough to play today?
No, it's not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. According to Team News, though, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. Let's take 3 more calls. Welcome, football fan. Good to have you, Jerry.
Hello, Black.
Yes.
It's Alan again.
25 seconds.
When is Man City playing? Is it 8 o'clock?
Well, we'll check that out for you.
I'm Chelsea game. I see AC Milan dancing with a win today. Up Man City tonight. A hat-trick for Alan or 2.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining. Again, we appreciate you. Now, a lot of talked about Mari, about how tricky this game would be for PSG. Now, many are wondering, what's there? What's special about Benfica?
Right, they're unbeaten so far, not just in the Champions League, but in the league in the last 7 games in all competitions since start of the season. So that shows you, they've got quality. They defeated Juventus in the last match day, the Champions League. Yes, you can say Juventus have not been good this season. Max Allegri has been yet to, stake his claim in this particular season, but they have been particularly very good. Not just the fact that they win, but they play very well. They've got attacking and bright talent in their team that can upset any big team. And then you look at PSG, yes, they've got quality, but of course we've watched PSG's games time and time again, and we've seen that they've got loopholes, especially through the flags. You know, there's a bit of a weakness in the flags, and I think Benfica can capitalize on that. It's a big game, you know, from a Benfica perspective, but I expect them, even if they don't win, but they'll go down and they'll definitely go not without a fight. So I'm looking forward to that particular game. But if PSG underrates Benfica, they'll definitely pay dearly for it.
Welcome, football fan. Name and location. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling us from? Oh, that's 10 seconds. Can't hear a single thing. Welcome.
Hello, Brad.
Yeah, Top Gunner back again.
Brad,
30.
Chelsea vs AC Milan. It should be a tough match for the Londoners. It will be easy for the Blues. On paper, AC Milan will have an upper hand. Instead, Oliver Giroud will have a union with his former club. I know he will celebrate when he scores against Solorex. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining. Let's take a listen to Khalido Koulibaly talking on the threat from AC Milan ahead of tonight's game.
We have a good team, a great team. We know that Milan have a good story in the Champions League. They won it a lot. But last year they make a really good championship. They win the Scudetto with a lot of good players, talented players. We know that they are really dangerous, and I think that they get some good points at the beginning of the run. So we have to know and be aware that Milan is dangerous. They have a lot of quality in the front, even in the back, and they have like young players who are used to play in the big games. So we know everything about them, and we prepare good the team. So we have to be aware of everything, and to try to win this game is really important.
Right now, Blyden, he's talked about inside knowledge. This is one man who understands AC Milan. Has faced them time and time again, knows a couple of those players. You are Graham Potter. You threw him in?
Well, for me, Graham Potter should be scared about AC Milan. I saw his last game in the Premier League. It wasn't that convincing from my standpoint. And this is a very difficult game, considering the fact that first game Chelsea played, they lost to Dynamo Zagreb. Second game they played at home, a draw at home with Salzburg. And this next game is critical. It might determine if they'll stay in the Champions League or not. And it's very important, especially when it's at home. AC Milan, difficult not to crack as far as I'm concerned. Might not be the biggest branded team in Europe at the moment, but they're a difficult game. I've seen them in the Europa Cup play against Manchester United and others. And they're coming in as Italian champions to play against the Chelsea side who are currently struggling. From what I saw the last game in the Premier League, surely, Brad James, I do not think Chelsea will survive. I see the best result for Chelsea being a draw.
Now, next week, Chelsea travel to San Siro ahead of that particular trip. The win here tonight at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea would see them level up with AC Milan in terms of points accrued so far this particular season. AC Milan, top of that group, they've got 4 points, and Chelsea have got 1. Well, that in mind, should be an extra incentive and extra motivation for the lads.
Well, right, it should be, but the players, for me, they are very lazy.
Lazy?
A lot of people blame the manager. It doesn't get it right. Tuchel was sacked, Potter came in, but right, looking at the quality of players, some players are out injured, but I think they have quality. Talking of Thiago Silva and not forgetting Khalido Koulibaly, they're supposed to play their game and also stay likes of Sterling, get the important goals, bury your chances when you have them, and make sure you take the team to the next level. The last time Chelsea kept a clean sheet was against Everton. So in the Premier League, they have scored 10 goals and they have considered 10 goals as well. So bright defensively, Chelsea is not good. So that is something the likes of Rafael Leao will be able to capitalize on and see how they can hurt this Chelsea team, because when Chelsea won the Champions League as well, they defeated AC Milan home and away that particular. So AC Milan coming as the champions, just like what Mario said, they'll be coming with so much confidence and also trying to avenge that particular result. So I see AC Milan taking a point out of Stamford Bridge.
No, Mario wants also have a bite.
Drag me into all of this. Right. Well, right. I think it's going to be a difficult game for Graham Potter. As Blyden said, Chelsea are still not convincing. Since Graham Potter came in, and it's understandable. He played a 3-back formation in the first game against Salzburg. Played a 4-3-3 against Crystal Palace, and we don't know what will come. The kind of formation he'll use later today for Chelsea. So that's another problem. So he still.
It should be a 4-3-3.
Maybe.
Welcome, football fan. Name location. Good to have you join us. Okay.
Right.
Okay, please take it off the speaker.
I'm out from that place, right. But you know one thing with Chelsea. Chelsea is just like a club now, or a woman that lost his husband. You know how the woman will feel. So nobody should be talking about Chelsea now, yet, until we succeed on what we are planning. Please, let them continue playing the way they want to play. England have already destroyed Chelsea, so we will revive. That is one. Two, somebody who is talking about us now, when champions of champions are playing, where is Arsenal? What will they say about Champions League? Please, they should give Arsenal credit in league which they have never win, not Champions League. They should go in. Bye-bye.
Okay, for joining. So you wait for Thursday?
Hello?
It's too loud. Welcome. Good to have you join us.
Good evening, by James and other guests in the studio. I'm Sharo J calling from Ghana. Why I really called, I want to say something about Antonio Conte. There was a time last season where I can recall when the Tottenham played against Liverpool and Jordan Klopp was like questioning or like saying attacking Conte. You guys were like, that is not right, this or that. It's almost the same thing. It does Antonio Conte. That's how it plays. So we should accept him. Now the result is no longer coming. It didn't come. We shouldn't say it's not this, it's not that. That's my take. I wish Real Madrid a good outing today. Thank you.
Graham Potter, team news, says that he's going with a back four for both of his first games at Chelsea. So expect the same here. Conor Gallagher could get a start here, having scored the winner against his home club Crystal Palace, as well as Christian Pulisic, who set up the winner. N'Golo Kante and Edward Mendy have trained this week, but only the later that Mendy will make the match day squad. Now, a throat infection kept Marco Correa out at the weekend, but he has seen strain. Kai Havertz, who need assessment for a minor injury, along with Jorginho. Stefano Pioli has a very injury-hit side. In their trip to Stamford Bridge, he will be without Mike Magnan, Theo Hernandez, Divock Origi, Alexandro Florenzi, and veteran forwards Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Three more players, David Calabria, Alexis Salamakis, and Simon Jah, came off injured on the weekend and could miss his fixture. Ante Rebic came off the bench to score against Empoli and should start with the amount of injuries AC Milan have. Well, we'll take breaks here very quickly. When we return, we're looking at comments from Facebook and, of course, continuing with the conversations from elsewhere. Stay right here with us. of Bayer Leverkusen 23 times, same number of times as Ramani of Napoli. For Ndika of Frankfurt, he's covered the ball 22 times so far this season. For Mari, Solorex, take us to Facebook. Let's have a bunch of the comments from there.
Yeah, from the live feed, we have 5 comments already, and I start with Kufre Edit. So good afternoon, guys. Is N'Golo Kante fit enough to play?
But it's not.
This match? And update me on Christopher Nkunku's deal. Then Unyime Benson say, good afternoon, Planet fan. Good afternoon, Planet Sports. I was so glad for my club that we won yesterday at Anfield. This means we are back to winning ways. Joseph Suberu, who is a top fan, said Chelsea is condemned to get a result today. I don't care how they do it. They just have to get all 3 points. Happy Teachers Day to all secondary school and primary school teachers. Good afternoon, Planet Crew. All for my team. As for my team Chelsea, I wish them good luck against AC Milan. Right, please. When is Nigerian Premier League starting? Up Chelsea, down Manchester United. Overall, I can say good afternoon, Planet fan. Chelsea will win today's match. Good luck to Chelsea. Up Neymar, and I wish him the best today. That is all from the live feed.
Right, so from sports page, Mr. Sopa says, good afternoon, sports crew. I'm so disappointed hearing Barca fans complain of an unfair officiating. Well, seems they forgot so quick what happened against Chelsea in 2009. This match still remains the match with pure injustice. So Barca shouldn't complain. Just beginning of their payback. As for my team Chelsea, wish them nothing but good luck. It's a do or die match. So having Israeli Mano says, please, what is the latest news about Mendy and Kante? Are they going to start in today's game? Thank you. Kelvin Inyume says, I was so disappointed for Barca's loss yesterday. That's why my ticket of 90k in laughs. As for Ajax, you used to beat somebody, so shall somebody beat you. Right. And for Chelsea today, this season we are very poor. Expecting my coach Potter to do a nice selection today, being a convincing win today. Joshua Emmanuel just says Chelsea all the way. Abraham Adoni says, no surprise that Inter with Barca. That's the ball for you. I wish my team United to win. I hope they wake up and return to winning ways. Ibora Anthony comes in and says, please, your signal strength in Calabar is not clear. As for Atletico Madrid, I want to thank them for cutting my ticket. Napoli is a team to beat in the UCL this season. So Beryl Joseph says, Calvin Bassey looked very miserable in the game against Napoli last night. I hope the team bounces back well. Napoli, on the other hand, looked fearsome and fierce in the way they've played today. They might give everyone sleepless nights in the Champions League. Mike Anthony finally says, I'm just thinking about Liverpool. I'm thinking Liverpool have passed their prime. Club is running out of ideas. I'm Nikadinho from Calabar.
Thank you very much, guys, for joining. Back in Nigeria, as preparations continue for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, Nigeria's Flamingos suffered a 3-1 loss to Fenerbahce in a friendly game played in Turkey yesterday, Tuesday. The game was part of the Flamingos' preparation for this year's World Cup. Etemedidion got Flamingos a goal, but a brace from Busan Saka, stoppage time strike from Nina Campbell and the Turkish club, the win in that particular encounter. Now, 3 days ago, Magdalene Lower Kerry side defeated Galatasaray by 3-1, their first friendly game in Turkey. The Nigerian girls are in Group B with Germany, Chile, and New Zealand. Now, back in the MPFL. Well, we can't quite see when we will have that one, but we'll have the IMC, the
set up a couple of days ago.
Yeah, interim management committee set up. We had Tubon Pobasi as the vice chairman of that particular one, and a whole lot. Well, we haven't quite heard anything yet with regards when the league would resume, but clubs are still busy doing business. And one of such clubs is Remo Stars. They've announced signing of Frank Kwame from Nigerian club AS Douanes. Kwame said that he's delighted with the move and is looking forward to a successful spell at the Ikene club. Cameroon goalkeeper Charles Tembe is also linked up with the Sky Blue Stars. Tembe joined Remo Stars from another MPFL side, Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan. Daniel Gomadede's side finished in third position in the MPFL last season under the Gaffer. We're talking about Benga Gumbote. So, got something in the morning from media manager of Akwa United talking about Fon Patrick, and a quick look at that as we continue the conversation here this particular afternoon. And the story from the media manager is Akwa United players and certification, or registered Akwa United players for the upcoming campaign have been certified medically fit to play when the new campaign kicks off. The players underwent routine medical examinations in Uyo and have all been confirmed in sound health condition. According to the team's head of medical department, Dr. Boots Jackson, the electrocardiogram test was carried out on all the players to detect the electrical signals produced by the heart each time it beats, and well, it's good they're medically fit. The Promise Keepers are currently in Uyo ahead of the commencement of the new season. Whenever that gets on the way, we're waiting for official confirmation. But one of these days we'd hear from media manager Fon Patrick talking to us about preparations, potentially some new signings and other conversations going forward. Football fan, new location. Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon, guys.
Right, take 30.
Yes, President, I want to say congratulations, but I've heard of the preparation they are doing, ahead of the new campaign. I wish them good luck in the new season that is about to start. Something about my Chelsea this season. I know Graham Potter is playing on mate in his Chelsea career. Today's match against the team is going to be a very tough one. But I think and I believe that he will come out with information that will conquer AC Milan, owing to the fact that he knows that if he lost this match, he is more or less going back to Europa League. I wish him good luck. I wish Chelsea good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining now. Test carried out earlier today have confirmed that Anders Christensen has a sprained left ankle. He's unavailable, and his recovery will dictate his return. We also hear that he's set to miss the next La Liga game against Celta Vigo on Sunday, and depending on the severity of the injury, could be out at least against Inter Milan next week, October 12th. Welcome, football fan. Name, location. Good to have you join us. Hello? I don't know what's wrong with the connection from that line. Let's stay here. Wow. Welcome.
Hello?
Good to have you join us.
Yeah, but James.
Well, I thought you saw.
Yeah, but yes, you're going right there.
Welcome.
Heavily cut off fresh.
Yeah,
Wow. I was tempted to ask the same question. Welcome, football fan. Name and location. Good to have you join us. Thank you for joining.
It's Matt Carter from
All right.
I want to congratulate Liverpool, but I can see and say that it's not there and dusted. The team is still struggling. But for Chelsea, this was AC Milan. It won't be very easy for Chelsea to get past AC Milan. Because for me, AC Milan is still a team to beat when it comes to Serie A and Europe. And Napoli, I think they are team to beat as well. But when they make the real honors of the Champions League, I think they will go down.
Right.
That is Real Madrid. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining now, Blyden. We hear Xabi Alonso from Liverpool man is close to joining Bayer Leverkusen as manager. Well, that's a big leap, you know. It's a big leap. And now, that's where the big boys roll. You followed him over the years. You think he's ready for this big chance?
I think so. It's been coming. Recent times had when he had some opportunity with a lowly side after he stopped playing football at the time. Quality player, but I like to look at it from his playing days, the vision he had while he's playing. Because for me, that's where it starts from, the leadership he had while playing football for Real Madrid, playing for Liverpool at the time, especially from a defensive point of view, defensive midfield point of view, detecting play. And that clear vision you see from a pass, it shows me a point at you who might be a good leader. All he needs to add is inspiration as a coach and lead the side moving forward. Big opportunity for Alonso moving forward as a coach. And the first 3 months might determine what the outlook would be. I think he'll be a good coach from my standpoint.
Now, Ronaldo is pissed, sitting on the bench. Should have known that would be his role. Yeah, he's going to embrace it. They would come to that time in his life where he can't, play
every game. I think for Ronaldo, it's been a battle between his head and his body. over time, and then he's just still battling with the reality that he's getting older and all of that. He puts in a lot of work, Bright. Let's not discredit. He's putting a lot of work in the gym, but of course it's a football game. So I think he needs to start realizing that you're not going to play every game. And I think Ten Hag has showed him that time and time again. Although he gets to play in the Portuguese national team in games where I don't think he should be playing, basically because I've got bright talent on the bench. But I think he has to realize that, come on, I'm 37. Right? How many players at 37 still play at that level? Not many. So I think he's done it a lot for himself. Maybe sit on the bench and motivate the boys. Come in a few times, but let the ones that have got energy to run play the game.
Right now, why do you think Casemiro is not, getting his chance at Manchester United? I mean, starting games.
I think it's a problem of how Erik ten Hag started with the team. Came in, first 2 games, disappointing losses. So, next game he played, had a side that got him a win, began to stick with that side. But I think we'll get to that point where Ronaldo will have his fair share of play, Casemiro will have his fair share of play, especially after this heavy loss. Because it's shown the side you're thinking is a winning side is not necessarily a completely whole side. And for crying out loud, I think Erik ten Hag needs to start trusting the other players, because you can't have one set of players play all the time for you. What happens when it's not working? Because had he been trusted other players, probably he might have had a different result. Maybe not a win against Man City, but a better result than what he had against Man City.
Right now, Mario, let's close over Facebook. Yeah. After this, welcome, football fan. Name, location.
Hello.
Yeah. Thank you for joining.
Hello.
Yes, can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Blyden. Good afternoon.
Okay. Now, Transfer Talk wanted to give Haaland a new deal. Was this thing about Real Madrid lurking around? Real Madrid on this man.
Foden was given a new deal.
Yeah.
Manchester.
After Haaland's father said something, that Haaland intends to tour Europe, that maybe he'd spend 2-3 years in City, go to La Liga, spend 2-3 years, and he wants to try out his craft in every league. So I don't think the City board found that statement funny, right? So they want to tie the man down to some good contract and some very big money as well. So
I think it boils down to a clause on his contract too.
Yeah.
The clause states that he can be signed for 200 million euros, I think 2024. And on the clause, Real Madrid are open to it. So City are looking at it, come on. Why make this deal? The guy's he's starting life. Yeah. 2 years after now.
They were willing to pay 220 for Mbappe.
Yeah.
So you look at it and look at his quality. And from what I'm hearing, information making rounds is that City are looking forward to give him a new deal.
A new deal so they can increase that clause.
Yeah, that clause, yeah.
So they can
because it has to be more. By then, Mbappe might be going for 320, 350, no, 400 million.
Who wants to lose that kind of player?
Yeah, it's a battle for money. I think Lenny listens from Borussia Dortmund, because in his clause at Dortmund, he was to leave last season at 60 million pounds. That was crazy, for a player like Haaland.
That's a steal.
That's an absolute steal. Look at it.
By the time they got him from Salzburg, come on, you wouldn't think he'd be what he is moving to Germany. And by the time they saw it, they've already signed a contract.
Yeah,
and that's the same thing with Manchester City now.
Yeah.
They've already signed this contract.
Trying to give him something else too.
Before he unveiled the tip of the iceberg to them,
yeah, 70.
Score as many goals as possible, and they're looking at it. Come on.
Happy birthday to Angela AB. You have my best wishes. Mari, thank you.
Yeah, happy Teachers Day to all the teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Teachers Day. All the amazing teachers continue to do good work, and you get your reward here on earth, not in heaven.
Please. Very important.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. I'm Bright James. I'm out.